I will vote against the government motion that would hinder the work of the parliamentary committee tasked with public hearings and improving the legislation. And I will vote for Bill C-5 at further stages only if it is amended substantively.
Okay, what's going on with the Liberals? Former Liberal Cabinet Minister Nate Erskine-Smith is criticizing Bill C-5, Carney's Free Trade and Labour Mobility in Canada Act and the Building Canada Act. Listen to what Nate Erskine-Smith says here.
Worse, in Bill C-5, in Bill 5 deja vu, this federal government is proposing to shut down democratic debate, curtail committee scrutiny, and jam the bill through the legislature. It would all actually make Harper blush. Liberals would rightly scream, that we would scream if a federal conservative government attempted the same. The proposed Building Canada Act has two major faults. First, it gives the government unfettered discretion in designating national interest projects. And second, similar to Ford's Bill 5, it gives the government unchecked power to exclude or alter any law that would otherwise apply to such a project. More concerning, it will jam all expert and public testimony and all committee scrutiny in less than 2 days. For what? Consider that Parliament isn't currently scheduled to sit between June 20th and September 15th. We are rushing legislation through Parliament under the auspices of an urgent threat, but we aren't willing to put Parliament to work for what, an additional week to get things right?
Wow. Nate Erskine-Smith, you guys. Like, what a legend. Like, you guys remember him, right? You remember him? He was Carney's Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities before the election. And then after the election, he got shuffled out of cabinet. He then kind of spoke out about being excluded from cabinet. He said he felt disrespected. You would be salty too if you were shuffled out of cabinet after only serving 5 months. But anyways, I've always liked Nate Erskine-Smith. He is one of those liberals who doesn't always conform with the whims of the party. And I respect that about him. He still stands up for what he believes in. He's a party man, but at the same time, he doesn't seem to have been corrupted by the establishment, if you know what I mean. That's my impression, at least. He has had moments where he broke with the Liberals on issues in the past. So, for example, in 2022, he raised concerns about Trudeau's use of the Emergencies Act before the 2022 convoy protests. He questioned whether the threshold for invoking such powers had truly been met. In the end, it turns out he was right. The federal courts did rule that it was unconstitutional for Trudeau to use those powers in 2024, right? He has also been openly critical of the Liberal government's decision to abandon electoral reform after Justin Trudeau promised it in the 2015 campaign. So I was actually quite surprised when he was invited into cabinet by Justin Trudeau towards the end of Justin Trudeau's time as Prime Minister. But in this particular video here, Nate points out some legitimate concerns about the federal Bill C-5. And he kind of draws a very nice contrast to Ontario's Bill C-5, which kind of does similar things. But that particular Bill C-5 in Ontario grants Doug Ford the power to essentially ignore environmental regulations within some special economic zones. Look, I want you guys to watch Nate Erskine-Smith's video, so I won't rip too many excerpts out of that video. It came out today. You can go watch it. It's only like 8 minutes or so. But I have the same question for the Carney Liberals. Why not take the necessary time instead of trying to limit the debate and ram this bill through? Like, there's a lot of concern about just the overreach of the federal powers here. So I think, as Nathaniel Erskine-Smith has rightly said, well, extend the parliamentary session by a week or whatever. Like, these members of parliament don't need another holiday. They were prorogued from January to May. And before then, they had the most unproductive fall session anyways. So, where they hardly got anything done in the fall of last year. So, they've not been productive. Parliament has not been productive for more than half a year now. So, they can wait another week to work through the amendments necessary to make this bill work. I'm sure they recognize that we're in a crisis. I'm sure they would be open to staying another week if they have to hammer through this bill in order to get it just right. Right? They can do it. So, as I said, I respect Nathaniel Erskine-Smith for calling this out. And I just thought I'd shine a light on that real quick, okay? I'll see you guys next time. I'll keep this one short. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, okay? Peace.